Imagine standing on a dusty plain, the sun setting over a distant horizon. The sky above you is not black, but a bruised, deepening purple. The wind whispers across a vast, empty desert. It feels like a place we were always meant to be. It is the only planet in the solar system where you could stand without your suit immediately melting your bones or crushing your lungs. The gravity is gentle. The day is just over 24 hours long. It looks like a paradise waiting to be terraformed. A canvas for humanity's next great masterpiece. But do not be fooled. This is Mars. Mars is not a promise. It is a warning. It is the ghost of a world, a corpse hanging in the void, and its stillness hides a history of unimaginable violence. The red color you find so beautiful, it is rust. It is the color of a planet that has been dead for billions of years. The real horror isn't a monster lurking in the sand. The real horror is the silence. It is the silence of a world that once roared. In the beginning, Mars was not red. It was blue. A global ocean covered its northern hemisphere, a sea 3 times larger than the Arctic on Earth. It had rivers, deltas, and rain falling from thick, cloudy skies. It was alive. Then, something went wrong. Mars is small, only half the size of Earth. And because it is small, its core cooled. The planet's magnetic field, the invisible shield that protects a world from the solar wind, flickered and died. And when the shield fell, the sun attacked. The solar wind, a constant, supersonic storm of radiation from our star, did not simply blow on Mars. It scoured it. It ripped the atmosphere away. For billions of years, the sun has been slowly dismembering its own child, year after year, century after century. For billions of years, the air got thinner and thinner. Without enough air pressure, the oceans couldn't stay liquid. Some of the water froze. Some of it floated away into space. Almost all of it disappeared. What's left today is a very dry place. If you stood on Mars now, here's what you'd experience. Midday at the equator might feel pleasant, about 20 degrees Celsius. But step into the shade, and the temperature drops to 70 below immediately. The same spot can feel like spring, and then Arctic winter within minutes. Look at the surface features through a telescope. There's a massive crack in the ground called Valles Marineris. It stretches 4,000 kilometers long. In some places, it's 200 kilometers wide and 7 kilometers deep. It's not really a canyon, it's more like a scar where the planet's crust pulled apart. And the volcanoes, Olympus Mons is the biggest mountain in the solar system, 3 times taller than Mount Everest. It's so wide you could fit the entire country of France on top of it. a reminder of how active this planet used to be. We haven't been to Mars ourselves, but we've sent many robots. Starting in the 1970s, we sent orbiters that circle the planet, taking pictures. Then we sent landers that touched down on the surface, then rovers that drive around. Spirit, Perseverance. These machines have been crawling over Mars for decades. They've found clear evidence of ancient rivers, rocks that only form in water, pebbles that were smoothed by flowing water, deltas where rivers once emptied into lakes. The evidence is strong. Mars really did have oceans. There's one more interesting clue. Scientists have detected methane gas in the Martian air. Methane usually doesn't last long. Something must be producing it. On Earth, most methane comes from living things, but it can also come from geological processes. We don't know which one it is on Mars. The question remains open. Did anything ever live in those ancient oceans? We haven't found the answer yet. NASA and other space agencies are planning to send humans to Mars. This is a difficult challenge. The trip takes about 7 months each way. That's a long time to live in a small space. The radiation in deep space is stronger than anything astronauts have faced before. Landing on Mars is also hard. The air is just thick enough to cause problems, but too thin to slow down a spacecraft easily. You need heat shields and parachutes and rocket engines working perfectly together. Once humans arrive, they'll need to live in special shelters. The air outside is unbreathable. The dust gets everywhere. The cold is dangerous. Every time they go outside, they'll wear suits that are like small spaceships. But many people believe it's worth trying. Mars has water ice that could be melted and used. It has materials that could be turned into fuel and building supplies. If we learn to use what's already there, humans could eventually stay for long periods. Next time you see Mars in the night sky, think about this. That red dot was once blue. Oceans covered its surface. Rivers flowed into lakes. Rain fell from clouds. Now it's a dry desert. The water is gone. Most of the air is gone. Nothing moves, except the wind and dust. Mars shows us something important. Planets can change. What seems permanent can disappear over long time scales. Earth has its own magnetic shield and thick atmosphere. But Mars reminds us that these things aren't guaranteed forever. The rovers sit silently now, on the surface, covered in dust. Their missions ended years ago. They wait where they stopped. Mars keeps spinning, same 24-hour day. same purple sunsets, same red dust. And somewhere beneath the surface, ice remains. The last traces of those ancient oceans, frozen and waiting. If we ever melt that ice, if we ever walk on that surface, we'll be continuing a story that started billions of years ago. A planet that lost its ocean, and the species that might one day bring water back. The real horror isn't a monster lurking in the sand. The real horror is the silence. It is the silence of a world that once roared,